As a group, we can do punctuality. I think that's going to be really important for the rest of our work. So thank you to all of you for that, because I know it's rushed getting a coffee or your lunch or coming down for breakfast on early and things like that. So thank you very much for that. I was also having a chat at table 6, the troublemakers. No, I'm only messing. But it just struck me that I think it's good to remind ourselves we're the first in the world that we know of, but we haven't heard of anything now in the last 4 months, so I think we are. We're the first country in the world to hold a citizens' assembly on biodiversity loss. Lots of places have done it in climate change. France did it exceptionally well, and there was a massive fanfare around it. The UK did it, but it was quite quiet. Roman was telling me this. And we had our own one on climate change that we know has had impact. But we're the first to look at biodiversity loss. And the questions that came up recently, like, why are we doing this? Why should we take the time if the other big countries are? Maybe we can consider ourselves a leader. Because if other countries around the world can look at Ireland, we may be small, but we've certainly got problems. And if we can say, well, look, we tackled the issues and we talked about them in a respectful way, and we found areas that we could agree on, maybe that will be an example to the rest of the, you never know, the rest of the EU, could be the rest of the world. In that, I'm very conscious that we shouldn't finger point at any one particular industry or any one particular government. And I want to be really conscious that for the next weekend, when we're talking with farmers and with people who are still depending on turf cutting, etc., that we maintain that respectful discussion, because that's when we can stand over recommendations that come out of this assembly. So I'm looking forward to that, because I think we did discussions and presentations really well this weekend. We had over 40 speakers from the floor this weekend, which I think is great. That's over almost half of the group. So well done, because I know public speaking isn't everyone's cup of tea, and it's difficult to do in a very large room like this. So thank you for doing that. And I imagine as we build our trust and that sense of community, that will become easier and easier, particularly when we get to the harder questions, I hope. So well done, everybody. Let's keep it up. Yes, round of applause. And hopefully the majority of you can come again to the next weekend, because I think that's where the power will lie. When we have the same people coming back, you've heard these conversations, which are really important. That's going to build on next weekend's conversations, which will build again on the third weekend. So it's really important that you are here, because you've been listening and you've been learning and you've been sharing your own expertise, your own personal life experiences. And there's a huge amount of expertise in this room, and I want to acknowledge that too. Now, thank yous for the weekend. Thank you to Matthew Ryan at the back and all of his team at the Grand Hotel for looking after so well. The food, the treats, we'll be rolling home by the end of the last meeting. And I'm looking forward to enjoying all of it, Matthew. Thank you for that. Thank you to Aoife and all her team at Quality Matters for the really important facilitation and note-taking that they've been doing all weekend. We couldn't do this without you, so thank you very much. Pi Communications for all the live streaming and making us look so well. And I want to see now, did we get many check-ins? But I think we did from social media. I think people, maybe not thousands, but people are certainly tuning in. And Sabrina and everyone at Q4 for all the media relations. That might sound pithy, but as I've said before, it's hugely important that people know what you are doing in this room. If nobody knows about it, nothing will happen. The more people that know about this, the more likely we are to have impactful recommendations. So again, go home, talk to your family, your friends, your neighbours, and if somebody happens to knock at your door looking for a vote in the next election, you tell them you're doing this and that it's really important to you, because I do think that will influence the changes that we're asking for. Thank you, or that we may ask for. I mean, who knows what it'll be at the end of the day. Darren, Michael and Lisa for the sign language interpretation for the whole weekend, and Tony Maxwell for the photos. Thank you to all of the presenters. People have given up their free time. They have missed christenings, they have missed birthday parties, they have missed important family events, and they've just given up, you know, whatever they would ordinarily do in their weekend to be here. So we're really appreciative of that. And the expert advisory group, or for James, the specialist advisory group, which I do think would also work. Thank you for giving up your whole weekend. They've been here since Friday because we had a very long meeting on Friday. And so they've been here in the hotel, you know, thoroughly involved in this process and answering all your questions. So thank you sincerely to our group at the back of the room as well. And I think they did a super job answering all the questions that were asked of them over the weekend. Thank you for that. And finally, to the Secretariat, to Art, Tim, Cathal, Lorraine, Lorraine Kavanagh, Lorraine Sexton, Caroline, Denise, Deirdre, and Brona, who all worked so hard to make it look like there was no work involved in this weekend. And that's because all the work was done in advance. So thank you to all of that team as well. And I hope everyone can take a Monday, a little bit of free time tomorrow. Oh God, they've Dublin next weekend. Okay, well, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Okay. As I said yesterday morning, it's my privilege to be here. I really do feel so privileged to be involved in this. Share the feedback as you see me here if there's anything we can improve on. But I'm very proud to be part of this work, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on October 15th. So Slán na Bhaile, there is lunch now for people who would like lunch, isn't there? Yeah. Yes, there is. Just in case, they can scramble to the kitchen if not. There's lunch for those who would like to have lunch now. I know there's a lot of people who want to get on the road, so drive safely or get the public transport safely, and I look forward to seeing you on October 15th.